Today on People Now, Demi Lovato's road to recovery. The pop star remains hospitalized 1 week after her apparent overdose.
Sources tell us what is next for Demi.
Mila Kunis is opening up about Ashton Kutcher's marriage to Demi Moore. We'll tell you what she's saying.
Wait until you see what happened when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle met one of their favorite reality TV stars.
Guys, why was Kim Kardashian naked when she received a call from President Trump? We have answers, people.
Oh boy. And actress Mackenzie Phillips is here opening up about her experience on the newest season of Orange is the New Black.
It is all today on People Now. Hey, happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to People Now. Now, whether you're about to kind of chow down on breakfast, lunch, or dinner, we know the perfect ingredient that you need to add to your meal.
And that is an avocado, because it is National Avocado Day.
Yes!
Yes, a lot of excitement. And I was wondering, what's your favorite? So silly. What's your favorite avocado dish? Is it avocado toast?
Yes.
What about avocado salad or stuffed avocado? Don't forget the classic guacamole. There's so many options.
Yeah, guacamole for sure. Avocado toast, great.
I actually really like this day. I wasn't a huge fan of Cheesecake Day. Avocado, I'm all in. I'm
all in on it. Vote for your favorite way to eat avocado in our People Now poll. There is a poll that exists that you can vote on your favorite avocado. Just tweet us your answer as well with the hashtag People Now. For now, though, here's what you need to know and what's trending on National Avocado Day. On a much different note here, Demi Lovato expected to make a full recovery following her apparent overdose, although it's not yet known whether her recovery will involve entering rehab. A source close to Lovato told People it's too soon to say what the next steps are in terms of entering treatment. Right now, everyone's focused on getting Demi physically healthy. That's the quote from that source. It's been 1 week since Lovato was rushed to the hospital. That was on last Tuesday. The singer remains hospitalized after suffering some complications over the weekend. A second source telling People she came down with a fever and showed signs of an infection. They said she's currently being treated for issues that are very common after a drug overdose. She'll need to stay in the hospital for a few more days, but is expected to make a full recovery. A source previously told People on Friday that Lovato's family is pushing for rehab and that they have looked into several options. By her side throughout her recovery has been ex-boyfriend Wilmer Valderrama, who's been seen visiting the hospital several times since Demi was admitted last week. A source telling People Wilmer has spent hours at the hospital with Demi every day. He seems very concerned about her. And though reports have indicated the overdose which occurred at her Hollywood Hills home was heroin related, a source close to Lovato previously told People that it was not. Now we move on to this.
I will go on a rant about my husband for the next 20 minutes. He truly is an unbelievable human. And people are like, but is he really? I'm like, yes,
he is.
Yeah, I really like my husband.
All right.
Well, guys, Mila Kunis cannot stop gushing about her husband, Ashton Kutcher. It's a good thing. The actress has been on a press tour for her new movie, The Spy Who Dumped Me. She's having no problem opening up about her relationship and her husband's past marriage with Demi Moore. Kunis just sat down with Mark Maron for his podcast, where she said that Ashton and Demi Moore had a normal, real relationship. She added that Ashton was younger, but he loved those kids, of course referring to Moore's daughters with actor Bruce Willis. Kunis also talked about her That 70s Show days, revealing that she and her now husband had no feelings whatsoever when they were filming that show. She went on to say, quote, "Had we connected in the past, would we have connected? No. The people that we were back then would never be together, but it's just such a bummer that we missed out on 20 years together." Kunis goes on to add, "We would have never been together if we didn't both go through what we went through in order to be the people that we were when we met." There you go. Now watch this, guys. That is 16-year-old Danielle Mangena, a finalist on the UK version of The Voice Kids, who also happened to be Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's pick to win the whole thing. Yes, even royals can't get enough of this kind of reality TV. We're here for it too. Danielle appeared on the UK's Lorraine talk show on Friday, where he spoke about meeting the royal newlyweds at Queen Elizabeth's 92nd birthday celebration in April and revealed their interaction went far beyond his wildest dreams. Danielle sharing, quote, "I was expecting like a handshake, then Meghan Markle ran to me, gave me a hug." He says that Meghan even screamed his name. We love that. He also revealed that Harry told him, "Our money's on you," to which the teen jokingly replied, "Thanks, Harry, no pressure." Of course, no big deal getting the endorsement of the prince. Despite having a wedding watched by millions, Harry and Meghan have proved to be a pretty normal couple when out in the spotlight, or out of the spotlight. They prefer quiet nights at home. They were, of course, roasting a chicken the night that Harry proposed, you may remember. Now we can add reality TV junkies to that list. Now, Danielle ultimately finished The Voice Kids in second place. We think in many ways, though, he's the real winner after hearing about this interaction. It turns out Harry personally invited the young singer to his grandmother's birthday celebration, where Donnell performed his rendition of Pharrell's Happy. Harry also introduced the teen on stage before his performance, calling him a, quote, star of the future. And Donnell says his friends and family couldn't stop texting him after that moment. He said they were going crazy over the fact that he shared a handshake with the prince. Really cool stuff. And stick around. Later in the show, our royal correspondent, Imogen Lloyd-Webber, joins us with all the details on how Meghan Markle will be spending her 37th birthday. It's her first as a royal, and it is this weekend. So all those details coming up. And you have more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Treks with one very exposed phone call. Take a look.
Okay. So I'm naked, and my phone rings, and I'm all glammed up, and I'm like, get me a robe.
And that's Kim Kardashian explaining exactly where she was when President Trump called her to Jimmy Kimmel. The Keeping Up with the Kardashian star revealed what happened behind the scenes when she spoke to the president on behalf of Alice Marie Johnson, a 62-year-old great-grandmother who was incarcerated for 22 years for a first-time nonviolent drug offense. Kim famously visited the Oval Office in May, and her immediate response was a little embarrassing. She told Kimmel, "I walk in and look around, and I'm kind of starstruck by the Oval Office. And the first thing I say in our meeting, I say, holy bleep, we're in the bleeping Oval Office." I feel like a lot of us would have the same response. Kimmel also was sure to ask if Kanye still liked Trump, and Kim gave a short response saying, "Yeah, I think he really does, yeah." But she made it clear that the two don't really talk about politics at home, and Kanye is all about Trump's personality. She says this, he's not political, so he doesn't really dig deep with what's going on. Now, Kim adds, "I have nothing bad to say about the president." It's very diplomatic of you, Mrs. West. All right, moving on to this. Amber Rose is proving she really can rock any hair color, okay? Rose stepped out in West Hollywood Monday night at the Ace of Diamonds nightclub, showing off a shiny purple wig that skirted her shoulders. She accessorized her new colorful tresses with a curve-hugging little black dress, silver bracelets, and pink nails. Rose became known for her signature shaved head, but lately she's been experimenting with a lot of different hairstyles. Gotta say, we are loving the new looks. But Rose isn't just into hair, she's also been stepping up her fashion game with her new size-inclusive clothing line, which ranges from sizes 6 to 32. Rose told People back in June that she's, quote, very body positive and didn't want to leave any girls out. Well, good for her, and we always love that. Those are your Star Treks for today.
Guys, stay with us. We have details about how Meghan Markle will spend her first birthday as a member of the royal family, as we've been talking about. Plus, last night's Bachelorette brought the tears and the drama as the eliminated men came face-to-face with Becca for the very first time. Everything you might have missed coming up.
Yeah, but first, we're back to check in on our People Now poll. We've been asking what your favorite avocado dishes are to celebrate National Avocado Day.
Yeah, people seem to be struggling with the decision a little bit. So here we go. What's your favorite avocado?
Do they? I don't think they're struggling.
Oh,
because guacamole is
there's no struggle at all. I was told there was a struggle.
Well, okay, you might have thought that because one user did right. I'd quite happily eat all avocado dishes. So we are definitely with you on that one.
There's no wrong way to eat an avocado, that's for sure.
There is a wrong way to cut an avocado.
And it is?
Well, it's if you slice it. Like if you
gotta do this.
The other way. Yeah,
this
you gotta
thing.
do that way.
Let me just say this about avocado. It's really all dependent on what you season it with.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of just a blank palate. Like
No,
the avocado doesn't have its own strong taste.
No, I think
it's more the
avocado by
texture.
itself tastes great, right? People are agreeing with me.
They're literally not saying anything. We'll check in on the final results of our riveting avocado poll
Very riveting.
a little later. But now, take a look at this, guys.
Guess these just aren't gonna go away. This is my body.
That's Chrissy Teigen getting pretty real about her post-pregnancy body on her Instagram story on Monday. The model did not hold back as she showed off her stretch marks in a bikini while on vacation in Bali with husband John Legend and their 2 children.
Chrissy also expressed her thoughts on the subject, tweeting, "Instagram is crazy. I think it's awesome people have killer bodies and are proud to show them off. I really do. But I know how hard it can be to forget what, for a lack of a better word, regular old bodies look like when everyone looks bonkers amazing."
Now, she continued in another tweet saying, also, I don't really call this body confidence because I'm not quite there yet. She says, I'm still super insecure. I'm just happy that I can make anyone else out there feel better about themselves. And Chrissy hasn't been shy about opening up about post-pregnancy related struggles in the past either.
She first revealed her postpartum depression back in 2017, revealing she suffered periods where she couldn't stop crying, general unhappiness, and how she could hardly get off the couch, much less shower. She did find relief after seeing a doctor and going on antidepressants.
And she shared all those details in true Chrissy fashion. In February, she sat down with friend and hairstylist Jen Atkin at a conference to talk a little bit about the postpartum depression that she faced with her daughter Luna and her fears that it might return after the birth of her son Miles.
Chrissy revealing in part at the time, do I worry about it with this little boy? I do, but I also know that when it does happen, if it does, I'm so ready for it. I have perfect people around me for it. That's why I stand for a real core group of people around me.
I love that she's been so open about this kind of thing, and it's part of the reason people love her so much. She's just very honest. She puts it all out there.
Well, especially with a time where with Instagram and filtering and Facetune and everything, it's good to have people like Chrissy that are real, and I feel like a lot of women look up to her. I think there should be more people that do that.
Me too.
Yeah.
Let's find them. All right, guys, check this out.
I've gone through a lot with that. I mean, it's hard for me to even talk about right now. But growing up and, being an athlete, it's something that I was ashamed of because it was so openly talked about, in our community. So I made up a lot of lies and I hid it and I was ashamed of it. I wasn't true to who I was. And I feel like people think I'm less of a man because of that. And that's the hardest thing for me to hear.
Ooh, brutally honest moment from Monday night's Men Tell All. Lots of tears, lots of drama as Becca Kufrin came face to face with her exes from this past season.
So much to unpack, and joining us live to break it all down are a few special Bachelor alums. Say hello to Kayla Quinn, Michael Garafola, and Skyping in Lucas Waboom Yancey. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, the Waboom made it. We just saw how the virginity thing obviously became a huge topic throughout the show. He got super emotional during last night's episode. Fans seem to have had issues over whether or not Colton's been genuine throughout this whole journey. Michael, what did you think about Colton after he got to speak the truth about what he's been through? Did you think he's being genuine?
I thought it was, at least what he talked about last night, was very genuine. I mean, I thought he came across as extremely sincere and talking about what he's had to deal with sort of tackling, with his virginity and having to talk about it, publicly. And I think he did a great job. I mean, there's a question as to whether the Tia situation and how genuine and earnest he was with respect to that.
But with this,
and I think it's a non-topic. I just don't see why this virginity is such a big deal.
I know, I agree. I don't know why it is. What did you think, Kayla?
It really shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
I just think he might have gotten flack from friends. He's supposed to be a guy's guy.
Well, that's what he said. Like, as an athlete, it felt like something that he kind of got heat for and had to put up a front for the guys.
He's a role model, though, for all men to be vulnerable. I think you get rewarded when you show your inner heart, and hopefully it pays off.
And he's not someone that we're looking at and we feel bad for, and we're like, this guy clearly is going to be a virgin until he's 86.
Exactly.
This is a choice.
This was obviously a choice, right?
He's 26 years old. He's still very young. Like, he's going to be okay. He's going to be fine. And I think he did a great job of, obviously articulating and expressing how he felt.
Yeah. Besides the tears, things also got a little heated, especially when it came to all the drama with Jordan. Lucas, you were attacked during Rachel's Men Tell All, and much like Jordan, people they said you were a bit of a joke. Did you sympathize with him last night? I mean, how do you think he handled himself amidst the backlash from the guys?
Was Jordan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't sympathize with him quite a bit. I think that he overwhelmingly is very douchey in himself. And he actually speaks a lot and kind of digs his own grave in a sense. On my season, I think only said "waboom" throughout the whole time. And unfortunately, I think he is a very narcissistic, self-indulgent person who was just there to say, screw it. It's all about me. I don't care about this girl. And I think you see what you get from him, and that's
I think he's a piece of performance art. Like the whole, I think it's fully realized character.
It's also kind of a nice moment of levity when Jordan is speaking, like compared to think about Becca. She's probably gone from one very serious, I love you conversation. And it's kind of nice when someone comes over and is like, oh, this is fun. Like I can just have some fun with this.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy you kind of hate to love.
He's
love to hate.
one of my favorite characters of all time.
And despite Jordan's golden undies and the whole thing, everyone did seem a bit on edge throughout the night. night. For all of you guys, what are the feelings like backstage on that episode, right? When everyone's there kind of unpacking all this, is it cathartic or does it kind of lead to more questions and dig up the past? Kayla, let's start with you.
I feel like this is your moment to like be the comeback kid. You really want to say everything you've been holding on to. So there is a lot of pressure and you really just watch everything you do, every single move. If people said one tweet about you, you know, having frizzy hair, you're going to make sure that hair doesn't move. So this is your time to really just come back and prove yourself.
Yeah.
Amen. My hair was frizzy during my entire season, so on Men Tell All, I was like, I did not know. But no, I think everyone goes in there with a goal. I agree totally with you, and it depends on how your edit was. It depends on what the social media reaction to you has been, and then you sort of go in accordingly. And you know, some people are there to apologize and do damage control, and then others are there to speak for the very first time. Apparently, so these people that went home night one.
Those are one of my favorite things when the people you don't even know existed or were on the show all of a sudden have their moments.
Yeah. And then everyone on the panel even says like, "Who are you?" They were even on the show.
But the producers are really great the whole time too because they coach you before to have a talking point, like he was saying. So 1 or 2 talking points, and if you want to be on Paradise, they're like, you have to be remembered tonight.
Yeah, Lucas, did you kind of feel like it was kind of a comeback moment for you when you did the Men Tell All and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I looked at it as a comeback moment, but I think that I was seen as this person that was like, just again, yelling while boom and all this stuff. Of course, I did a song that we actually rehearsed beforehand that was cut, unfortunately. But my Men Tell All was quite different than this Men Tell All. It was just a complete opposite. This one felt very, let's talk crap about each other, this and that. Ours was a little bit more race heavy and things like that, and it was like intense. And that was kind of the difference between us. And I would have loved to have a redemption moment, but I think that it had to do with mostly banana eating and
which we can't forget. We got to see Jason, who said he really wanted to be friends with Becca one day, which I think is really sweet. Kayla, considering he really fell for her and she loved kissing him, do you think it's possible they can actually be friends? Can you be friends with your exes?
I don't believe you should be friends with your exes, just like a rule of thumb. But in the Bachelor world, there's just so much, overlapping, and you have to be at events all the time. So, they could be the first couple, one of the other couples that, really does become friends. But I think he truly loved her, so I don't think he can.
I agree with you. I think it's a terrible idea.
I think she's going to avoid him like the plague.
So sometimes we kind of get a clue on our next Bachelor who it could be. From the Men Tell All, do we have any hints? There's Jason, Colton, Wills. I think I moved over fully to Wills. What do you think, Michael?
Yeah, I'm fully Team Wills, but I think this was definitely Jason's, Bachelor edit. I mean, he very much sat there like sort of the team captain of
the men, did, huh?
And
he
really took over the conversation. I mean, the way his hand, his hand gestures, it was almost like he was the Godfather. I think between like the slicked hair and the hands, and he was like, I'm gonna have to make you an offer. Leave Jordan alone. I don't know. I just felt like he had that very, definitely was trying to say all the right things, trying to take control, take charge, and speak on behalf of the group. And I think most of the group allowed him to do that, considering that he is definitely a front runner to be the next Bachelor.
Everyone for the next Bachelor, they want someone who gets the sympathy vote a little bit, and I think they definitely gave him that time on the couch. He had that one tear. That's what they're really looking for the future Bachelor, someone that America connects with.
Well, boom. What'd you think?
I think you did a great job, to be honest. Being in that hot seat, you're chosen to be in that seat. Like, for instance, Dean was in that seat before, and that's a very intense seat. And I think he was very genuine with everything he says. His feelings, he's a great guy overall. I don't think he clicked with Becca 100%, which is probably why she let him go. But you could see that he was very genuine about who he is, and when he spoke to people, it wasn't out of hatred or being malicious. It was just very kind-hearted and who he was, and I really respect him for that.
Yeah, of course, we can't forget that Chris Harrison gave us a little sneak peek, Bachelor in Paradise. A lot of drama already. So Leo, grocery store Joe, fighting over Kendall, Colton crying, Tia smooching Chris R. Kayla, what was the most shocking part of the trailer for you? What gets you the most excited?
The fact that Kendall was like in this love triangle, I really love that. She's a taxidermy girl. She really is trying to find love, so it's awesome that, she's one of those girls.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Look.
I've met Kendall, I had the pleasure of meeting Kendall, and she
Yeah.
is just so genuine and so sweet and awesome. And I think the most shocking thing to me, though, is that anyone could have any issue with grocery store Joe. Like, how could, I mean, even if, you know,
Nicest
you're
guy in the
fighting
world,
for the same
yeah.
girl, you could be like, well, you know, I mean, Joe is a, you know, nice, handsome dude, like, but I hope she chooses me. You know?
Yeah.
But I would never be like, you know, I don't
Right? Never
head-to-head
get
with
to
him.
have like beef with him over it, but yeah, we'll
I'm
see.
really excited. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and make sure to tune into the Bachelorette season finale Monday night on ABC.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Waboom. Well, guys, the countdown is on till Meghan Markle's birthday on Saturday, but I'm sure you already knew that. Here with all the details on how she'll celebrate the Big 3-7 is our royal correspondent, Imogen Lloyd-Webber. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Jeremy.
You have the party hats ready?
Oh, absolutely.
To go?
Oh,
All right. So, Meghan, 37 on Saturday. It's her first birthday as a royal. Obviously, it's a big occasion. What's she doing to celebrate?
Yeah, the spotlight won't actually be on her. Meghan and Prince Harry will spend her birthday, August the 4th, at the wedding of his childhood friend, Charlie Van Strapensee, to Daisy Jenks. Prince Harry will actually be best man. He's known the groom since they went to school at Ludgrove Prep School, and Charlie was all smiles at Harry and Meghan's wedding in May. And sharp royal watchers, as you are, Jeremy, will recognise the surname here.
You don't forget a name like this.
No, you don't. Van Strapensee's older brother Thomas is a good pal of William's and is one of Princess Charlotte's 5 godparents.
Remember that in the mix.
You do, absolutely.
Sounds like a fun day. Obviously, it's a celebratory day, but interesting, the focus is not on Meghan for her big day, the birthday. From what we know, is Meghan big on birthdays? How has she celebrated in the past?
Yeah, so last year, Prince Harry took Meghan on a romantic getaway to Africa when they went on safari. Right before, she celebrated her birthday with her mum in London. As we know, they're very close. The previous year, in 2016, Meghan was still active on social media and had just started dating Prince Harry, although the news hadn't broken yet. She wrote on her blog about her birthday, quote, "I have to say that when I close my eyes and think of what I wish for, I come up with a blank, a big old happy blank. I am feeling so incredibly joyful right now, so grateful and content that all I could wish for is more of the same." Fascinating when you think about what subsequently occurred.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I love that heartfelt kind of picture of her. And you know, now obviously not going to have a blog post written by her on her birthday that she's in the royal family. I'm sure that things are going to change in terms of how she celebrates the day. What's normal though for like the Queen's birthday, Prince William and Harry and the royal family?
Okay, so for Queen Elizabeth, she has to go big. She has 2 birthdays, her real one and an official one, which we know is Trooping the Colour. Everyone else is more low-key, although royal kids in close line succession, i.e. Prince William and Princess Kate's offspring, tend to have an official photo released. There's also sometimes a gun salute in Hyde Park. Because they spend so much time in the public eye, the royals normally prefer to spend some time at home. The exception this year will be Prince Charles, as he's turning 70 in November. He's already had a big garden party to celebrate, and we can expect more events to come.
If I were royal, I would demand like a flyover of jets for my
Right.
birthday with smoke coming out there. Anyway.
Yeah, taxpayers would love you.
Can't let you go without talking about the other Meghan headlines this week. Now, maybe the most unlikely feud of the summer or of royal history. Chrissy Teigen versus Meghan's dad, Thomas, and half-sister Samantha. Break down all this drama for us.
Yeah, Chrissy Teigen has had enough of Meghan's dad's indiscreet interviews. There was just one in the Mail on Sunday. Teigen asked, "What is wrong with him?" and wrote on Twitter, quote, this guy sucks," alongside screenshots from the article. One included how Thomas claimed that Princess Diana wouldn't have approved of the way he's being treated. In response, Samantha, Meghan's half-sister, called Teigen a, quote, pudgy airhead, both of which are patently untrue. We all know you can't pick your relatives, so I suspect Teigen is saying, as ever, what an awful lot of people are thinking.
Wow, it is an interesting situation that continues to unfold. I think there may be more to this before it's all said and done. Never a dull moment. Thank you so much, Imogen. Good to see you.
I used to do this back in my waitressing days. Now, let's see if it still works with these new bottles. Ta-da!
Oh my God! It's like St. Joseph a cappuccino, but with diet soda. Is this like some kind of a carbonation thing?
That's for me to know and you to wonder.
Oh, so good. Mackenzie Phillips plays Barb, a drug addict, and apparently a bit of a magician, serving a life sentence in the 6th season of the Netflix drama Orange is the New Black. She joins us live. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my God, that's so crazy.
I love watching you watch. What goes through your head when you see that?
Well, the first thing that sticks out is the teeth.
Yeah.
Because obviously these are not the same teeth that Barb has.
Yeah.
They made like an Invisalign that I popped in for my upper and lower teeth, like a clear thing that was painted yellow.
You gotta give the different
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
Can't have those perfectly gleaming white teeth in that situation. My goodness. So for people who don't know, look, you've been through a lot in your real life, rehab several times, all those types of things that we'll get into, but some of what you've been through sort of ends up lining up with this character, right? There's some relatability, some connectability to that. When you first got the call, hey, we want you for this role in Orange is the New Black. Did hitting that kind of subject matter cause pause for you, or was that something you're excited to get into?
Not even close. I mean, you know, playing someone who has struggles with substances didn't freak me out at all, because it's, you know, I've been there. I am on the other side of it. And so people were like, weren't you triggered? Wasn't it like, it didn't make you want to get high? I'm like, no, it didn't make me want to get high. It made me so grateful for what I have.
And to be able to maybe, again, like you were talking to me with before, with me a little bit before about having a platform, being able to talk more about these issues. But it's as someone who has battled with addiction, been through recovery, come out on the other side of things in this ongoing sort of lifestyle, counseled others. I mean, you're on the other side of this now. Did this show represent something for you in maybe, I don't know, a therapeutic way, something to dive into in a way that's maybe different than previous roles?
You know, I had sort of left the acting world and I pursued a career in behavioral health. I work at a treatment center, I'm a counselor, whatever. And so when I got the call that Orange is the New Black was interested in hiring me, you know, it's Orange is the New Black. What are you going to do? Say, no, I'm a counselor now. I can't do that.
Sorry.
Yeah. But when I found out that it was someone that struggles with, you know, a serious, you know, using problem, I was even more excited about it because, you know, spoiler alert, Barb gets sober.
Okay.
Okay. And the character gets sober. Nikki, Natasha Lyonne's character, helps Barb get sober. And that was just so cool to show that you know, because I've had access to the best behavioral health care for my own addiction over the years. But someone who's in prison or someone who doesn't have the resources or the kind of good insurance that maybe I have, doesn't have the opportunity. So when you just take the substance out of the picture, all the behaviors are still in place, and the only thing missing is the drug of choice. So real recovery comes through other channels rather than just stopping using, right? So there's a little more to it.
There's so much to it there, and it's interesting when you think about, of all the shows that are on TV or streaming services, Orange is the New Black has these very interesting, and on the scale of things, somewhat dark storylines, right? These characters are very troubled, obviously entertaining at moments. Why do you think the show has connected so well with an audience?
Well, I mean, it's sort of like being a fly on the wall. You get to, you know, look in and watch something that is so outside of your reality. Women in prison, abuse by guards, rampant racism. You know, well, actually, we see that all the time, but I mean, in a different way. I think people just really like to go into a world that they don't have to live in.
Yeah. Can we talk some about that, how you've parlayed your experiences into helping other people, which it's so fantastic that you've been able to do this. You have this recovery facility in Los Angeles. We've seen so many stars, right, come out and come forward with publicly about their battle with their various demons. David Cassidy, we recently discovered, had this ongoing battle with alcohol and told people he had dementia and all this stuff that was revealed. Dennis Quaid just recently revealed a previous coke addiction. Obviously, everything we've been seeing with Demi Lovato and her battles and struggles that she's been very open about. Is it important for stars to share their experiences, and if so, why?
Well, first of all, let me say that if we were to begin to characterize addiction as the disease that it is, as the mental health issue that it is, instead of some sort of moral failing, I think that we might see the stigma being chipped away at and more people getting clean. What if we stopped calling it a relapse and said, my disease has presented again? You know, I'm not in remission anymore. I've just been thinking about this lately.
Changing the vernacular, the language that we use around it, right?
Absolutely. And so, you know, it's really important for people to understand that this is not a moral issue, that we're not bad people getting better, we're sick people getting well. You know, I mean, all of these things that we hear all the time. Let's really do your research and figure out what is addiction? How does it manifest? What do different drugs do?
Yeah, and when I think about what you've been through, and then Demi Lovato specifically, and going through these things and sharing it publicly, does the public pressure, once you've revealed, hey, I'm going through this, the public pressure to stay straight, does it help or hurt?
Well,
I can see it as accountability and also this terrible...
Well, I think it hurts. I mean, I was just shocked when Demi Lovato put out the song saying I'm not sober anymore because, you know, but I also thought it was so brave, because most people will hide relapse, right? Because they don't want people to know that they're using again, because it affects the public image of them. And so, I don't know if it's good pressure. I don't stay clean because of social pressure. I stay clean because my life is better.
Yeah.
I am able to function. I'm able to be there for other people. I'm able to be a mom to my son, Shane. I work at a place called Breathe Life Healing Center in West Hollywood, California. And, we're on the front lines of addiction every day. We also treat eating disorders. And so I see the pain, and I remember the pain that I was in and how difficult it was to actually let go of that coping mechanism, which had worked so well. But then when it stops working the way that you needed it to, and it becomes really a serious problem, that's when you really,
You mentioned being a mother, really being this motivating factor.
Yeah.
What has the reaction been from your son and seeing your, being able to accomplish and take on these demons?
He's really proud of me, and he's really, he's a lovely human being who doesn't have a substance use disorder. Sometimes they do magical things like skip a generation. Shane's been incredibly supportive, and hi Shane, you're awesome.
Yeah. So that 90-day period right after something happens, we know is critical for Demi Lovato.
Mm-hmm.
What's the advice that you would have for her and her team in this next phase post?
Long-term treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. One thing that we talked about is when a child star is sort of the breadwinner of the family. That's kind of a whole different kind of dynamic for someone to go through. Certainly the case in some ways for Demi. You've been through being successful young and the pressures of that. Does it make it more difficult to step away from the spotlight in order to receive the care that you need when the career is so critical to not only your life, but the life of a lot of people around you?
Well, it may be difficult and it may cause some issues, but you're talking about someone's life. You're not talking about a breadwinner. You're talking about a human being who's struggling with a real problem. And so people need to just let her do her thing and get well.
Do you find that, and as you even mentioned, you stepped away from acting and you went into care and into caring for other people. Do you think that it's possible to stay in the business and maybe, in Demi Lovato's case, this demanding schedule, and then also receive the right kind of treatment to remain sober?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely. But it's a full-time job. I mean, it's something you really have to be mindful of all the time. But you can certainly be clean and sober and work and have a life and be a mom and you can do anything.
Yeah.
Like my active addiction limited what I could do, and now I'm free to do whatever I want because I've found out that my recovery is portable. I just take it with me everywhere I go.
That's a really interesting way to put it and to think of it in that way. And you've been into rehab several times, like 11?
Yeah, like more than several.
More than several. Okay, a lot of times. But so I guess the question being, is it possible? We've been talking about this sort of myth of moderation, and if it's possible to sort of, in a more controlled way, partake a little bit and then it not affect you as an addict.
Not for this girl.
Okay.
No, absolutely not. It never worked for me. I thought I could drink. No, you can't. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't speak for anybody else, but I certainly know that abstinence is the key.
That makes sense.
For me.
Let me shift gears quickly. Fans obviously got to know you in large part on One Day at a Time. That show is groundbreaking in so many ways. Divorced woman raising the family. Orange is the New Black. Very groundbreaking in its own way as well. All female cast, or leading cast. Do you see the parallels in the two since you've experienced the show?
I hadn't considered it until you mentioned it, but also just want to give a shout out to my One Day at a Time Netflix family.
Yeah, for the reboot,
because I play I have a recurring role on One Day at a Time on Netflix, which is so much fun.
Yeah, it's such an interesting thing to see the you being a part of such groundbreaking things, and your career is going so well, and it's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Mackenzie Phillips, guys, check it out. Of course, Orange is the New Black, season 6, streaming on Netflix.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're saying goodbye. Andrea, Boehlke, this has been great.
Yeah, happy Avocado Day. Have a good day.
Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.